Hello everyone, and welcome to another horror review. I'm once again joined by Dale as we continue our journey along the filmography path of Sir Peter Jackson. Today we're discussing The Frighteners. Released in 1996, this movie tells the tale of Frank Bannister, a man who after the death of his wife finds that he can communicate with the dead and uses the gift to calm people. However, when a demonic spirit appears, he may be the only one that can stop it from killing the living and the dead. The movie was made on a budget of $26 million and brought in $29.3 million at the box office. Hi, Dale, and welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. We were just counting out. This is a long journey we're going down.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, I went to downtown. Was it the weekend there? Like a secondhand, one of those secondhand stores.
Oh, yeah.
Like the DVDs, and I just went yoink. Got the whole Lord of the Rings box set, the Hobbit trilogy. Got the Lovely Bones.
Wow.
So I'm like, coming out all Peter Jackson stuff and other things.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm sick of streaming, honestly. Something that's supposed to be easier for us to get access to movies is becoming more difficult because you queue it and then it disappears when you go to watch. So if you're not going to watch something straight away and you put it in your watch list, it can then disappear and go not available anymore, and you're like, why?
Yeah, especially if you've paid for it, that's really bad.
Yeah. Well, if it's part of the usually, because it's happened to me as well. Ones I was going to rent, so some of them are part of your subscription, so that's fine. You put a wee pin in it because you do when you're going to watch it, and then it disappears. And like, what? Some you rent, so you put a pin in it, and then come back and go, it's not available anymore in your country. You're like, why would you do that? What is it called? And I know there's stuff for rights and all, but at the same time, it's not like products changing hand. It's just sitting on a server.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting worse.
I couldn't find this movie anywhere, so I had to rent it off YouTube, which was quite good to do. So
YouTube's a bit expensive though.
It's only like $5 to rent it. So and you get like 48 hours to watch it. So you can watch it a couple of times.
It's the same. I got this on disc, and it's one of the old ultra high definition DVDs, which my Blu-ray player doesn't play, so I had to rent it as anyway.
Oh no!
But I'm trying to. I'm saving up because I want to get. I need to do stuff to the house first. That's priority. No more nerdy stuff for apart from what I've already ordered for the next couple of months to get my decorating finished. Have to be a grown up for next 2 months. But my plan is to get one of the deregionalized players because I'm sick and tired of only being able to buy so much as well. Being available. It's annoying.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But first world problems, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, technology. Oh God.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's just people mess it up.
Yeah.
Stupidity in big companies and morons who shouldn't be in a job or given management positions. It's the same the world over.
And they make some stupid ass decisions.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Usually just to try and climb up the ladder or screw somebody else over. And I remember back in the day. Do you remember Masters Universe, He-Man?
Yeah.
And then they brought out She-Ra. And that ended the franchise because the girls' toy division and the boys' toy division of the same company were fighting against each other.
What a mess.
Like that's how, and they killed the whole brand.
Oh my goodness.
Because the girls section of Mattel, that's the ones that did Barbie and Cindy and stuff like that. Or was it Cindy? I think it was Cindy. Who does Barbie? Hasbro?
Hasbro? I think.
It's Mattel. Anyway, it's the other one does it. I think they one or two anyway. They do either I think it might have been Cindy. So they have all the molds for making the Cindy dolls. So they made them all that size. And then that meant they weren't compatible with the Master Universe because their molds made them that size. And then they wouldn't compromise, and then they were trying to beat the other. They're in their own company.
That's insane.
And the whole point was Like any company, let's see this whole nonsense of you don't want men fans or female fans. Like, who in their right minds, if you run the business, going, I only want this number of customers? If your business, you want all the customers.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
And that's the stupidity of these morons who are now preaching to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go away.
Like, what are you doing? So they killed their entire brand, and I think the company never really recovered.
What idiots! This is ludicrous. Yeah.
But back to this one. Is this Peter Jackson's first success? Is this his first movie that's actually made profit? Technically, because
technically it is.
Because if you, what people forget as well is it's not just the cost of producing the movie versus what comes in. You've got the marketing costs, and even though it brings in the box office, the cinemas take a good whack of that. So only, I think, maybe a third of it goes back to the actual company. So you need to make 3 times as much to be in profit. But
yeah, exactly.
This is the first one that's actually made more than what it cost.
Yeah, it is. This is the first one. Yeah, absolutely. And that's because Universal Pictures got involved, right?
I think so. There's distribution, because that's I think when I'm doing the Clive Barker series, one thing we have noticed is the reason a lot of the movies didn't do well at all is because of distribution.
Yeah.
They screwed up with the distribution, and
same with some of Sir Peter Jackson's earlier works as well. Distribution was a problem as well. So
I'm probably the fact that we're freaked out by him.
Pardon?
And probably the fact that we're freaked out by him as well might have had something to do with it.
Well, yes, there was that as well.
What is this? Ah!
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I would say this is his first major success. Yeah. But of course, it all follows on from Heavenly Creatures, doesn't it? I mean, that's why people get involved. Yeah.
You can see it go in the direction. And I think Forgotten Silver was just a funny little quirky one, but it also showed, as we discussed, he's a known name. The fact he's able to pull people from Miramax and all, and that he has the influence. So I think we're seeing the journey here, you know. But this one, wow.
Yeah. This one.
Hey guys, I'm excited I actually saw this movie. It's very strange. Could have been so much better, but I still liked it. It is a strange one. What was it rated in New Zealand?
Mature.
Mature, right?
Yeah.
It was only 15 in the UK.
Yeah, and 18 in America, I think.
Yeah, 18 are in America.
I don't even know what they bothered.
What's mature in New Zealand?
It's just under R13.
Which is, what was your rate? Because ours goes U, PG, 12, 15, 18.
Oh, right. So over here, ours goes PG, mature, R13, R16, R18.
Oh, so yours is probably about the same at 15 then? Yeah. Right about teenagers, young adults?
Yeah. I think mature means that you can be any age so long as you've got somebody mature with you. Yeah, so I would, So when they made the movie, they were hoping to go for an R13. Mm-hmm. So it's quite weird how it ended up in America as an R18, and then
because ours just 18 in America, I think.
Yeah, and yours is was R15, wasn't it?
It was just 15. You know, I mean, it doesn't. We don't have the 15. R. We don't have the R thing.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, U is universal, suitable for all. That's your basic cartoons. PG, parental guidance. You know.
Yep.
That's the one. If you're pretty young, youngish. You have youngish. You have to have an adult with you, and it's at their discretion. And then the other two, 12. There's 12 and 12A. Sorry, I forgot about 12A.
Oh.
They brought that in 12A for some reason. So 12 is 12. You know, it's by age. So 12-year-olds. 12A is 12 with adult themes. So it's, if you're an immature 12-year-old, don't go. It's just nerds, or you know what I mean. You got these bureaucrats just making jobs for themselves. Because 12, even the 12 rating wasn't really. it was a pretty new thing. It came in the 90s. Then they brought in 12A, just making more categories. Because when I was growing up, it was PG, and then it went up to 15. So 15 was like your action movies, your Arnie movies, your Stallone movies, all that type of stuff. And obviously 18, straight up horror movie.
Interesting. It's different. Yeah, I suppose every country has different criteria, of course. So
it's good to know, though, because that's another thing to talk about, because it's interesting how a piece of art can affect, different cultures and how they can react.
Yeah.
Chris is saying it was rated R in the US. Under 17 needed parental guidance. Okay. So if you're busy under 18, you grow up to go with you.
Oh my gosh!
So what's Chris? What's after R? Do you have because ours is before you go into X, that's banned stuff. But generally, an adult movie is 18 years of age. That's what we have. What's an adult movie in New Zealand? Not
R18.
that you see them anymore. That's the problem.
R18.
R18. So
R18.
Oh, the R is just the prefix.
Yeah, that means rating.
Rating? Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah. So 18 is basically your very extreme horrors. I think even The Conjuring and all those sorts of things, I think they came under R18. Yeah. So which means that people around 18 plus, so it's really for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ours are 15.
And then we get X-rated, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you go in the X-rated, that's where that doesn't appear in cinemas.
No.
That's home purchase only with loads of warnings and blah.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, that even just you brought up The Conjuring there. The Nun 2 was 15 over here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, it's
pretty lenient.
People make a big thing about the Conjuring universe, but it's, to me, they're popcorn flicks, and they're very inoffensive. You know what I mean? There's no like loads of gore. There's a few like jump scare scenes and that, but there's not proper.
It's definitely paranormal, not so much horror.
Yeah, so over here it's considered, 15-year-old can go and watch it, and
interesting. Yeah, because I mean, they are pretty frightening. Sinister and all those sorts of movies. They are pretty scary stuff.
I tell you, no, it was the Nun 2. I fell asleep.
Oh, did you? Apparently, the first one was better than the second one.
Oh yes,
which is weird because I think James Wan didn't do the second one, something like that.
He produced it.
He produced it, right?
Yeah, he didn't direct it.
So yeah, interesting.
No, I was in that weird cinema with the rocking seats and the stuff, and I was just going with the camera shot, rocking me back and forward, and I'd had a hard day. I went on Friday after work. I just like.
God, what a waste of money.
I woke up when the priest went in fire. He's like, oh, all right, okay, right.
Oh, heck.
But I suppose, once again, that's where I'm different from a lot of people. Some people would get like proper upset at those movies, and I think they're quite tame. You know what I mean? To me, like the torture-born stuff is a bit more extreme, like the Saw movies, they're... Yeah, I don't enjoy them, but at the same time, I understand that sort of stuff shocking,
Yeah, the hack and slash movies.
Yeah.
That's what I call them, the hack and slash movies, yeah.
But it's just interesting this was considered... It seems to be just generally in culture, so this was considered it's okay for like teenagers to go, older teenagers to go and watch this in the UK.
I actually let my we watched it with my 9-year-old daughter because she was homesick, and it was fine for her to watch. There wasn't too much in there to creep out a 9-year-old.
Yeah, one or two scenes that would make you go, like the sarcophagus scene.
Yeah.
That's one of them ones of.
Yeah, she didn't get that, but
yeah, that's those sort of ones make you. Hopefully, just go over people's heads.
Yeah.
That was bad. But this is a complete departure from anything we've seen up to now.
Absolutely.
Like I wouldn't associate, if I didn't know it was Peter Jackson, I wouldn't associate this movie with him.
No, not at all. No. I think it's probably because Universal Pictures interfered with his creative flair, possibly. It was very tame for a Peter Jackson movie, but I guess when you got Universal Pictures backing you, you kind of have to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, getting the impression is that this was a job.
Yeah.
This wasn't a creation
of first job.
Yeah, this is a job. This is the day job. This is got to go and make a movie because I'm getting paid to do it, sort of thing. Got to make those connections.
This would have been a real highlight for him, I think, being asked by Universal Pictures and the producer to invest themselves into this sort of Hollywood realm. And I don't know if it paid off, really. There was no, his gore had to be contained, and all those lovely things we love about Peter Jackson just wasn't shining through.
Yeah,
yeah.
I felt like there was a movie bumping against the movie in this. I think that's my best way to put it. There's a movie inside, like, trying to punch its way out of this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it had lots of different themes in it.
It was a bit all over the place.
Yeah. It kind of got a bit confusing at some stages. I wouldn't watch it again. not very soon. I'd have to wait a few years to watch it again.
It's been years since I watched it last time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I felt that was enough time.
I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. This time, not so much for some reason. Maybe I'm older now and I just kind of, I don't know. I've got my taste, and this kind of wasn't really it.
If you're just, I can see us being okay for normies, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Just going to the cinema, flashy lights, popcorn, I watch something.
Yep.
I can see that. If you're looking into, like we do, we look into story beats and storylines and how does that progress. And if you're looking for that now, and I find that hard to switch off now. Since I've started down this journey of reviewing and looking at things through the critical eye, it's part of you. It's not something you switch off. And I'm looking at all things now through that, because I know what I'm looking for. I know what makes me happy in terms of like good story beat and falling through, and I know what I can forgive in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some movies that are absolute dreadfully crap, and then there are some that just have some little gems in there, that just carry them along. But if you're looking for a good horror, this probably isn't one of those.
No, this isn't. This is mild. This is
very tame for Peter Jackson. Very tame.
Absolutely, yep. And
you can see little flourishes of where he's done some little things, that we're used to, but they were so tame in comparison to his other ones.
Yeah, he must have. Like I said, this is probably just the day job.
Yeah.
To him, it was probably just, I'm doing this to get something else. There's no real Peter Jackson in this. This is,
no.
I can't remember who it was written by, but obviously he's just doing what he's told, and like most directors are now. That's the thing. This is.
Well, he actually wrote it with Fran. The two of them wrote it.
Oh,
together.
They had the idea. That's right, but I don't think this is. Because we don't get we're not getting even the level of detail. Noah's trademark level of detail. There's none of that here.
No. I'm sure he had parameters he had to stick to. And I guess, this was his first real foray into the Hollywood scene, and it was probably real.
His first sort of mainstream movie.
Yeah, and this is probably what he wanted at that stage, and his career was to get picked up by Hollywood, as any director would really want to.
Everyone saw it as everyone sees it as a progression, don't they?
They do.
I think that's kind of gone out of the water now, thankfully.
Yeah.
People are realizing Hollywood isn't all and beyond. In fact, they're just they're a fast food chain. You're not, if you're going to be a restaurateur.
Later on, during some of his other movies, he wasn't so much involved in the Hollywood scene. So, he started producing them by himself and things like that. I think maybe this might have scared him off a little bit, perhaps.
I could see this being, if he thought this was the next 20 years of his life, he'd probably give up.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be that sort of, he's too much energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
This could not be, I couldn't see us being him. He would just fade away, I think, and just drop it and not bother, because I was getting like a Tim Burton vibe throughout this.
Hell yeah!
I think this might have been better if it was directed by Tim Burton. Not the slag of Peter Jackson, but I think this movie would have lent more into that. And I think Tim Burton would have given it, because he does mainstream spooky Halloween type stuff without being over the top, where Jackson's just, balls to the wall horror. I'm gonna mess with your head.
Yeah.
However, I think this was a useful movie in terms of where we're going next. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some of the close-up shots really, really did remind me of Tim Burton. This was kind of like a Beetlejuice meets Blimmin' Ghostbusters type of movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got glimpses, because Tim Burton's so unique, and I think you're right. He would have done a really good job with this one,
because that's his zone, if that makes sense. That sort of inoffensive, spooky, gothic, cartoony type stuff. Even the music was sort of veering on some of his scores.
It was indeed.
Like, I bet you Bannister, Michael J. Fox's character, would have sang a song in the abandoned house if it had been Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had done something like that, it would have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael J. Fox, he just dialed in the performance in this. He sleepwalked through this.
He was very laid back. He was a very aloof character in this one. But I think it might have I think they had to play his character that way. Otherwise, him seeing ghosts and ghouls, he's able to take it with a grain of salt. Whereas if we had another character who wasn't so aloof, I don't know if it would have been believable. Plus, I also noticed that his Parkinson's symptoms were. Did you notice that some of them were? There were some scenes there where he was having a little bit of trouble with his motor skills. I know that.
I forgot when that fully came out, but that's true. This was around about that time, wasn't it?
Well, he'd been suffering from it for about 2 years before this film was made. Dr. Hollywood, that's when he started showing symptoms. So that was 2 years before. And he still didn't know he had Parkinson's during this movie. So some of the scenes where he went to pick things up.
See, I was trying to let that go.
Me too, but I can't, because I know, it's sort of, you can't unknow something, So it's kind of like I'd hate to admit it, but I was looking out for it, because I didn't notice it. And because after this movie, I didn't really follow James. I didn't follow his career after that, basically. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of sad, but oh well. He's still alive, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's still kicking about. He's
good.
He's done like what do you call them, skits, Back to the Future skits, just for a bit of laugh with David Lloyd and stuff.
Oh, okay.
He's I think he's done. I've seen him on YouTube interviews and stuff. You know, it's him pop up on YouTube the odd time. Just
Well, he actually really, really wanted to do this movie because he loved Heavenly Creatures. He really loved it, and he wanted to work with Peter Jackson. So that's the only reason he took
that must
this
have
job.
been a disappointment.
Possibly.
Not Peter meeting and working with Peter Jackson, but just if the studios, and because this matters of here's your template, you just do this and that's it. Stay in your box. Don't come out of your box. You know, make your fries, make your burger.
Yep.
Say enjoy your meal and move on.
Yep, absolutely. And that's not Peter Jackson. He's like, come on, guys, do your best. You know, everybody get together and let's do this. And it's like, oh, okay, Universal Pictures interferes and says, no, you can't do that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Really.
Do you think he got right? Do you think he got one of his? Somebody recommended him. He got on the set, and then one of the executives found out who Peter Jackson was and went, and went sprinting down to the studio. Stop that, man!
I wouldn't be surprised.
They saw a bad taste about. No, not my watch. Stop him! Stop him!
Get him back! Yeah, no, right. I think everyone just fell in love with Heavenly Creatures. You know, I don't know. Yeah.
But that was well, obviously we talked about that movie, and it still had Peter Jackson in it. You know, it still had his wackiness,
Yes.
but he did it in context, so it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but somebody's obviously went, we can't let this man off. No. And you can just see the color draining from some executive's face. Go, no.
Keep him leashed. Keep him on the leash. Tighten the leash a little bit. Yeah. Yep, totally.
Saying that though, some of the actors, we've got Michael J. Fox just like being laid back throughout this movie, and then you've got everyone else overacting to the hilt.
Totally right.
I mean, there's
theatrical.
like he's just like, yeah, I'm in a movie, I'm talking, you know, just blah blah blah, and everyone else like, I'm the best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, God, what the hell is this?
Yeah, God blimey. Just so many of them were just over the top. You got Ray, who was the, you know, American jock, and then you got the Sheriff Perry, who was totally over the top. And then, of course, the FBI agent
Milton.
Davis.
Oh God, we'll talk about him.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of overacting going on in this one, and I can see Hollywood had a hand in that. Because I don't think Peter Jackson would have wanted them to be acting like that. But it's a fake American movie, so
yeah, you gotta have fake Americans.
Maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah.
God, that was I don't know. I don't claim to know. I think I've gotten to know him from doing this deep dive, but this must have been torture.
For him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I didn't even look how long it took to shoot this, but I'm sure you want to get over done with as quickly as possible, because this would be like just working in that firm. You don't want to, you know, you just hate your job, and you every day is a chore.
Yeah.
I could
and
picture
the amount of stress it put on Weta Workshops. Whoa. You know, they'd only been going for 3 months, and they were so stressed out and overburdened. They had to get somebody else, an American visual effects artist, had to come in and finish it off, because Weta Workshops wasn't catching. They just weren't going to meet the deadline. So that put a lot of strain on
especially CGI at that time. That's obviously something else I want to talk about it. We don't overreact in America. You hear me? We don't overreact.
Who said that?
Chris, yeah.
The American.
No. Yeah, you're reasonable, sensible people, and you're going to have nuanced adult discussions.
Oh, yeah.
Go America. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yay, go America. We love you.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I love you all, my American friends. We're only having a joke. We're taking the piss.
The ones that know us know it.
Yeah.
While all the rest of them are like going, ah, how can those foreign people, because we're the entire world. Ah, yeah, okay.
Oh, I know. We have to do everything backwards and upside down and change the whole bloody dictionary.
Fun times. Yeah, the CGI effects, actually, seeing you brought it up, they're bloody painful.
They were.
This was this was 2000s CGI. That's hasn't actually gotten any better.
No, it hasn't, right? No. I mean, some of the scenes like with the Grim Reaper and say Stuart getting stuck in the door and all those little bits and pieces were really quite good. But then it's just
the carpet scene
stuff. Oh, just
at the beginning and the wall scene. Do you know what? Nightmare on Elm Street did it better with a bloody sheet.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They were able to convey that better with just whatever that stuff was that Robert Englund pressed into. That was a bit annoyed me during the remake when they redid that in CGI.
Right.
That exact same scene is like, don't redo the scene and shit and make it shitter. Don't do it. But yeah, a fucking bed sheet pressed against it. In fact, Jackson could have done better in this with his toy cupboard.
Yeah, well, he wasn't even allowed to use his physical props.
No, I'm surprised Big Enough Films didn't get brought in because that's all the physical stuff.
When Nut Films was on there, they did do it.
Did they get involved?
They were in the beginning credits. So whether or not you missed it,
Sorry, I flipping missed that bit because
so
I was looking and then I must have just.
Yep. So they did. And Weta Workshops, like I said, they helped as well. However, they were not allowed to use their physical props, which kind of sucks.
What
because
was the point of bringing them on board then? There's the toy cupboard.
I know, right?
Peter Jackson's like, do you know what? I can make this in like a tenth of the budget because that's what I've done my entire career.
Exactly.
No, and this is corporate bloat. This is actually a perfect example then of corporate bloat and wastefulness and stupidity.
Yeah.
And it's something I've been banging on about for years.
Yeah. They really put Weta Workshops under stress because of the fact that they couldn't use their physical props because they're used to using and they are known for their physical props, But oh no, Hollywood wants CGI for everything at that particular time,
Yeah, well, look at movies now, doing a green screen and then everything in post-production.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at Avatar.
Oh wait, hold on, we screwed that up. Let's spend another 100 million in reshoots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did run out of budget, so they had to get more budget. They had to get more money from Universal Pictures to finish the film, and then at the end of the day, they released it 3 months early anyway. It's like, oh my God, you guys are just wacko. It's just
yeah.
Money
Fair play to Jackson for doing this because honestly, this sounds like hell, especially if something like that.
Yeah,
I've the stuff here. I could do it for a fraction of the cost, and I've got the right people around me. Just need to scale it up a bit for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look at what he's done in like Dead Alive.
Brain Dead.
Right. Yeah. There's the exact same corridor scene at the beginning. Look what he was able to do in a tenth of the budget.
Yep. I know, right?
And
it's ludicrous.
Yeah, we need CGI. Oh, fucking morons.
Yeah. I think this probably was like his dream come true. And then when it came to reality, it was like, oh, fuck. No way. You guys are just like chaining me to the wall, I think that this probably was, just
What an eye opener.
Yeah. You can clearly see the difference. You know, you can tell he's been restrained.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. There's a movie trying to get out of a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a movie inside screaming, going, "This is me, let me out."
Yeah, exactly, right. And it would have been a box bloody office hit, you know.
Well, even, and this is what people talk about box office hits, you just need to make more money than what you spend.
Yeah, right.
So if you do it by spending less, and then you have the distribution of Universal and the name behind it, and then if it's still made 29 million, but he only spent 10 million, being allowed to actually use the resources that he brought to the table.
Yes. That would have been exactly right.
Then it would have been a massive success.
Yeah, it would have.
Oh man, were you? I'm guessing you're feeling the same as me watching this, just frustrated as hell.
I was, and then at about the 50-minute mark, I was bored. I could not wait for it to finish, but then it amped up again. So, and that was with Peter Jackson's chaotic scene at the museum. I think that's what sort of brought it back again, even though that was a ridiculous scene. But you could see Peter Jackson's work in that scene, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. So
that's about the only time I really got a clear glimpse of Peter Jackson's creative flair being allowed to be used.
A wee bit at the end in the hospital.
Right.
But
yes.
Generally, no. It was just this didn't need to be an hour and 40 minutes.
It was an hour and 50 minutes.
Was it 50? I thought it was only 40 something.
Yeah,
oh my god. My brain shut down in self-preservation then for part of it. I think my brains went, nope, and just left the building for a few of these. Because this was a slog.
It was. I had to stop halfway through and continue later on because I was just like,
I paused a couple of times.
God. It was kind of painful, but I wanted to watch it because it's Peter Jackson, obviously.
Well, we signed ourselves up to do this, you know what I mean? And we're on a journey here, so it's only right.
So we tied in, But you know what? I reckon they could have done it in an hour and a half.
Easily, especially that sort of movie.
Yep.
There was bits
they just went too far on the CGI. That's why. Yeah.
It didn't have anything.
No, and an hour and 50 minutes is bloody long. That's such a long time, you know, for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You want something. Yeah, exactly. You want something around an hour and a half sort of mark, you know, and that's reasonable. That's reasonable to ask for. But why the hell they wanted to push it out to an hour and 50 minutes? I'm not too sure. Maybe they wanted to make good use of the money that they spent. I don't know. Yeah,
I have no answer because
it seems a bit different because Peter Jackson doesn't really do long movies. So, except for
which is next. We're getting. Don't worry, we're about to start that journey, and I can't wait. Like I said, I'm like I'm getting all the box set. And the thing is, I bought the Blu-rays of the trilogy, right? And then behind the counter, I saw a DVD box set, and I'm about to go. That's shinier. But the wee girl's away to pick out the DVDs or the Blu-rays for this, and I'm like, I'm not going to go. The only thing that stopped me is like, she's away to get them. I'm not going to ask her not to, to come back and go and get them instead. I'm not that sort of person. I'm not that, because I've worked in retail. I know what it's like. I'm not going to be a customer ever.
Oh, no.
Oh, that place is bad because I saw the Evil Dead trilogy as well. Blu-ray, and no way they have like ones for returns or stacked up, and it's like there, and I'm like, no, this is what you budgeted for. Stay. and she looked at me as well, and she could just tell instantly what sort of nerd I am. Do you want that? And she puts her hand over. Do you want this? And I'm like, yes, I do want it, but I can't. No, it's okay. She could see me visibly struggling. She just knew she could dangle like shiny things, and I'm like, no, you're not zone.
Oh my God, hilarious.
Oh, I'm a bad man. I am like a big kid.
Oh, no. Getting excited over Peter Jackson films in the DVD shop.
But when they're in the lovely presentation boxes and everything else, you just can't not.
Exactly. So long as they work on your devices.
That's it. Yeah, that's the next big purchase, is that, you know, the super duper fangled UHD deregionalized player.
Play everything.
But I'm not doing that right yet. I've got grown up stuff to do. It's got to be an adult.
Oh, that's no fun.
I know it isn't. It's killing me. But I've got shiny stuff coming in this month anyway. I bought 2 months ago, and I have more shiny stuff coming that I backed like a few months past. So I'll have enough shiny stuff to keep me the end of the year. Therefore, I left myself skinned over, so I don't feel too bad.
You got to treat yourself once in a while.
I'm doing it too much. I'm using this channel as an excuse to basically indulge myself. That's what I'm doing.
Good one.
It's for the podcast. It's not for me, honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear, that's like addicts, isn't it? Addicts do that to justify things they shouldn't. But I pay my bills first. I do all my responsible stuff. I keep my head down and do my work.
Yep.
And then
that's the way to
if I have to live in noodles for the rest of the month, so be it. But I can get to work. I can keep the lights on. My birds are looked after. After that, then it's whatever. I don't care.
Oh, you've got it sorted.
Anyway, another distraction. Tangent number 5.
Yeah.
The first meeting between Bannister and Ray, those two were going to be like together the rest of the movie. It was so laid out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he runs through his fence and breaks his gnomes, and typical American jock, you know, all brawn, no brain. But yeah, it did highlight that he was going to be playing a major role in the movie. Yeah, it was quite. No, it was good.
It was. I'm trying to think. Should this have just been a pure comedy?
Oh well, yeah, it was actually labelled as a comedy.
Yeah, but
comedy horror, I think they called it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Where did they go wrong with this?
Where they went wrong with this
in the tone.
They used American comedy, not New Zealand comedy. I think that was the problem. So we didn't get to see all the beautiful flourishes that Peter Jackson does with his, you know, his unique sense of humor was not there at all. It was all Hollywood humor. Yep.
Yeah, not just so flat.
Yeah, it's flat, eh? Yeah, it was kind of cheesy as well in some places, but corny.
That's the question, because obviously there's American comedy horrors we love, like the House series and that. There's, in that context, it lands well and it does the job.
Yeah.
Is it trying to, you know, it's like getting a Michelin star chef to work in a fast food joint. They're not going to, you know what I mean? They're not going to be happy.
I think that's possibly happened. I think what they thought was, okay, well, we love Sir Peter Jackson's comedies that he has in, you know, his dark humor that he's got in his other videos. However, it missed the mark because I think his humor they didn't like, possibly. They didn't like his humor. And because we didn't see his humor at all.
No. There's not a lot at all.
No. Yeah. So I just think it's just a fake American comedy, really.
Like sort of canned laughter, sitcom type stuff. But
exactly. I think so. Yeah. I mean, there were some really good funny bits in there that made me laugh. I mean, especially when Stuart gets stuck in the door and all that sort of stuff. You know, the ghost gets stuck in the door and some of those silly scenes, but it was like canned laughter. really. Yeah, it was a little bit painful. For Peter Jackson, my heart went out to him. I was just thinking, oh my God, what he could have done on that scene, particular scenes. It's like, oh God, if they had let him do that, it just would have been a completely different movie.
Yeah. I think this is like before I watched it was a movie, and I remember like I wasn't blown away by it when I first watched it. I was still young and stupid, so anything on the TV I would have been happy, but I still remember this feeling off when I first watched it. Like I've only seen this maybe my second or third time.
Yeah.
Like I've never felt the desire to revisit it.
No, neither.
But even when I've watched it, you just get that sense of there's something not right. There's something off kilter with the whole movie.
For the whole movie, the whole entire movie. Yeah. Absolutely.
Flip R. Lee Ermey. And this.
Hey?
R. Lee Ermey.
Right.
Right. He's the one that plays Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, like the most iconic Vietnam movie of all time. Well, the first half anyway.
Loved that movie. Yeah.
Right. He has one character, like, and that's it. And he plays it to the max.
Oh God, yeah, especially when he pulled out the machine gun. So that was brilliant. Yeah. But of course, overacting once again.
But that's his one character he plays.
Yeah.
We loved him for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it added something special to the movie, I think, in that cemetery scene when that just had me cracking up. But I was thinking, that kind of, I bet Peter Jackson wanted to do something full on with that scene. I bet.
Yeah, there was something. I thought that was a lead up to something else. And when we got the payoff, I was so I was actually gut wrenched.
Yep. Absolutely.
I saw a redemption arc. I saw the possibility of a redemption arc when Bannister first goes to the cemetery and it's Ray, because that's what made him. Well, when he does a double take and he sees Lucy, the fact that it was Ray because he had seen the number, which I still can't get my head around. But with R. Lee Ermey, who basically riffs him out saying, "You're a fraud. Once you're coming here, I'm waiting for you, for what you have done in the games you play."
Yep.
Busy messing with people's souls, not just the living, but the dead can't rest. He's being a con artist. So here's the start. I thought there was going to be a scene later on in the cemetery, and there was going to be the redemption arc.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Fell flat. Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about, this whole jarring aspect of this movie that makes you think, this isn't right. What the hell?
Yeah.
And this isn't...
once again, we see another war scene from Peter Jackson. But I bet you anything, he would have wanted to... he would have wanted a full-on back scene or a flashback, of Heinz in war, sort of thing. But I bet they constrained him and just, I bet he wasn't even really allowed to use anything other than the machine guns.
Yeah, which were cheesy as hell. But
yeah,
I was thinking actually Bannister, once he became dead, actually making an agreement with Heinz, going, "I know I've screwed up, but this is real, blah blah blah," and then actually calling troops to battle in the cemetery. And I thought there was going to be like a battle scene in the cemetery.
That's what I felt. I felt that coming on.
I thought even from the start, right, you don't hire someone like Ermey, you don't have that character, and you don't call him it without a redemption arc. And Jackson's the type, we know that no detail is just thrown in there for no reason.
Exactly.
We know he's a man of detail, and I think that's what's annoying me. There's no detail in this.
No. He's been restrained. You can tell. I mean, this was a really good opportunity for him to show his unique, direction, and it just fell flat. I bet he was really mortified by that, because it could have just opened up the movie so much better. But
yeah, I didn't look for this one. I didn't look at any of the behind the scenes stuff because I had a funny feeling it would be a lot of fluff, corporate fluff, and him trying to apologize for the movie, and I didn't want to watch that.
yeah.
I would be interested in finding if there's a later documentary where he talks about what went wrong. And I think maybe that stage of life will you only be able to do it.
There were behind the scenes I didn't watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't because I just the feeling it was going to be fluff and almost apologist. You know, this is the best movie, this is the best experience ever, and saying it through gritted teeth because he has to. And I didn't want to watch him do that.
So there must be a more recent one, hopefully, that he tells the truth about the movie.
Yeah, because I could. I don't want him to be like Clive Barker, because actually Clive Barker is showing a pattern. He makes terrible movies, and then he blames everybody else.
Really?
For the fact, and in fact, a lot of his stuff doesn't translate onto film. And he's not a brilliant director. He got lightning in the bottle with Hellraiser and Candyman, but that was about it. You know, everything else has been sort of mediocre, not really landing. But all his behind the scenes stuff, the studio's fault. It's the studio's fault. It's the studio's fault. And I would hate to see Jackson be like that, because I see Jackson's being more mature.
Yeah.
Clive Barker, I love his writing, but he's a big child.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a prima donna, and
yeah.
The more I went down that journey watching his stuff, it was like he's actually kind of put me off him. But
really interesting.
Well, it's that whole thing. You know the whole thing. Don't meet your heroes or anything, or don't get to know too much about them.
Yeah,
but
because you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I just say that he seems to be a genuine person, and this has just been like somebody's put the concrete boots on him for this and chucked them into the river.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, because there's a whole there's stuff set up in this, and this is so mishmash. It's just not him.
Nah, it's not. No.
And we've seen what he can do with a tenth of the budget.
Yeah.
And a garden shed with a few mates.
Yep, exactly. Yep, with his family members and everyone coming together, and
he gets the big gig, that's supposed to be every director's dream. I hope people are realizing now that Hollywood isn't the be on end all, and if you support independent creators, that's how you break the cycle.
Yeah.
An independent creator, if you give $100 or pounds, whatever, to an independent creator that gets that movie over the line and they actually get to make it, they'd be 100 times more grateful than giving the soulless corporation that really doesn't care. You're just a number in a spreadsheet.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Just
it's a shame.
You can rent an independent movie and help someone out that has a vision that you like. Do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All it costs is like a cup of coffee. That if you go to a swanky coffee place, you'd pay the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, support your indies. They're important.
Absolutely, because it's this is an example of there's a shining star of an independent creator getting absolutely shackled. Now, thankfully, this isn't the end of his journey.
Thank goodness.
It could have been.
It could have been. Oh shit! No, I'm not getting involved in this anymore. I'm out. Yeah, I'm going to find a different job.
you could see that. Like, I'm the sort of person this would break. I don't have the patience, or so I'm not a rich person, because I just can't put up with people's crap, and I'm getting worse as I get older. Fair play to anyone that can slog through this, but this I would have thrown a fit.
Yeah. Yep. But of course he couldn't, because he was getting money, wasn't he? So, and it was his dream, and unfortunately,
and he probably thought that's the way it was, because that was the attitude back then anyway. It's only now that things are changing, even though there's because it's a dying industry. A wounded animal is the most dangerous, like a legacy media in that there. They're fighting like mad to be relevant, and that's why
Yeah.
they're stirring the pot so much, because they're just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
And the more they keep people at each other's throat, it's a desperate act from a damn thing. We see Hollywood and they're done. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll get the whole setup. Listen, okay, fair enough. This is what really lost me, was when he went to dinner with Lucy the first time.
She was desperate. She just clung on to the first man that paid her even a little bit, slightest bit of attention.
And he wasn't even.
No. He's a lame character. He's not likable. He's a con man.
Yeah, but even at that, he's still in love with his wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, how much? How much love?
He's going through the motions, like, just there, but
yes.
Is there a time scale aspect of this I'm missing out on?
The pacing was all off. I think that was the problem. The pacing was all off, or we've just missed things. That they've cut things out of the movie. Like, okay, they end up going 1 minute they're meeting, and then the next minute they're going out for dinner. That happened really fast.
Straight after the funeral.
Straight after the funeral. That
and
was
then
just like,
she falls in love with him basically there and then on the spot.
I know. Why? Why would you fall in love with him?
And he's still grieving for his wife.
Yeah, and Lucy's obviously not grieving for Ray anymore.
In the slightest.
My goodness. Yeah, no. As we found out during their talk at the dinner table, that she wasn't even happy. I mean, gosh, okay. That was a plot fail, because it looked like they were happy. So it wasn't any big revelation or anything like that. We just went funeral, bang, straight into dinner. Oh, how did that happen? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because if he was just passing on a message, how to go to like that level of
Quite good.
what a
extreme.
What a stupid place to have dinner as well.
At a medieval restaurant.
Dressed up as if they're going to a swanky restaurant, but it's medieval.
I know.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't know what.
To me, this should have taken place in a coffee shop.
Right. At lunchtime. Having a coffee. It didn't need to be a dinner, big, huge, extravagant restaurant that they probably, I mean, I don't know if it was a real restaurant. Obviously not, but I don't know. That's a scene that could have been cut down and condensed, and that's another place that we could have lost some time there instead of.
How much budget was spent building that stupid thing?
I bet, right? Exactly. So there were those little scenes like that were just like, huh? What's going on? Yeah.
This is why I've always said I never liked the love interest character. I was always a trope in Hollywood movies. I never liked. I just thought it was we'll just put the love interest here, and it's like a two-dimensional character.
My brother calls them the FFs, the film fucks.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie has to have a film fuck in it, and Lucy was it. And it was like, well, she didn't even suit the character. So, I don't know. It was just a bit weird. The romantic angle was just off. It was off. There
was no chemistry, no reason, no plot. There was no reason in the plot.
No. The pacing was off. It was like they fell in love so quick. And it's just like, well, how can they when they're both grieving? Okay, maybe it's a rebound. It didn't even feel like a rebound.
No, because Ray was, Bannister can see Ray. Ray's talking to him.
Yes.
That'd be like, he's basically going, I'm going to have a go at this. Nah. You're like,
yeah.
And
I
that's
think
not his
it was
character.
right. It's not. But I think what they tried to do was make that scene hilarious, which it wasn't. It was funny. There was a couple of funny bits in there that were like, haha, yeah. But it wasn't. It didn't end up being the comical situation that they probably were trying to build it up to be.
I didn't laugh once during this movie.
The only time I laughed seriously was when Stuart got stuck in the door. I thought that was great. I thought, wow, we're going to get a Peter Jackson movie again, and that was it. That was just the funniest bit in there was him getting stuck in the door. I thought that was comical, and even that was off because a ghost's not going to get stuck in the door. You know, Peter Jackson wouldn't have let the ghost get stuck in the door, but I sort of thought that was what we were leading into.
Sure, was a season ghost as well, so it wasn't as if he was.
Yeah.
You know, because I saw Michael J. Fox becoming a ghost, Bannister becoming a ghost. In fact, even Ray becoming a ghost, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Would have worked then, but not Stuart's been around for ages, you know.
Yeah.
And even the same with the dog, you know, stealing.
Yes.
Oh God, how do you call him? I forgot his name. The sheriff.
The judge.
The judge.
Oh.
Yeah, the judge's jawbone.
Yeah.
That
wasn't funny.
I wasn't laughing. You kind of saw. Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, but it just felt.
It was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't. It was off. It was off. I mean, I didn't even click. It wasn't until I watched it the second time, well, 1.5 times I watched it, that I got it, that it was actually his jawbone. And it was like, okay, so that was supposed to be funny. That really wasn't funny. I missed the mark the first time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, that's this whole thing with this might have worked better as a buddy movie, but you'd already got 2 buddies in Saracen and Stuart.
Yes, he does.
And I don't know. I just don't know. I think that's I'm struggling with this one. I think that's my whole thing about this. I don't know, because there's just a whole logic fail.
Yeah.
And the dialogue and that, but if something had happened to Saracen Stewart and then, or he didn't have Saracen Stewart, if there had been genuine ghosts and he booted them out instead of being a con man, there's so much wrong with this that it trips over itself.
It does.
It's almost like one you can't even fix. There's so many threads that are loose that you just can't identify the one to pull, because the whole thing will unravel and you have to start from scratch anyway. So you may as well go back to the drawing board. On.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's where I'm struggling with this, because I can't go, well, if you fix that, that would sort it out, because that doesn't lend to this. And
yep. That's right. Yeah.
Oh dear. Frustration's the best.
Frustrating, disappointed, not what I expected from a Peter Jackson movie. This is all wrong. It's wrong. You know, I think he was probably really, really amped, you know, to have Michael J. Fox on board.
Because he was still a big name.
Back then, he was huge, right? Right up until the 2000s and all that sort of stuff with his, So he was a really big actor back then. And to have him on board would have been like, Peter Jackson would have been like amped, you know, but then, you know, the restraints and all that, he couldn't really get that character to come
Jim
out of.
Bush, you know, he's in this as well. There's a couple of big names, you know. It's not as if it's a small production, so he's working with a decent cast.
Yeah, but I think you're right when it comes to this is a job. This one is the one this is a job. The other ones were his gems, his babies, and this is somebody else's baby.
That he just happened to.
Well, he wasn't actually supposed to direct it. Zarek, is it? Is that his name? The producers. Well,
he
Peter
asked
Jackson
for Peter to come aboard, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. He asked him to direct it because once he saw the written piece from him and Fran, he just turned around and said, "Oh no, you have to direct it now because what you've done with it is amazing." So they just said, "Could you direct it, please?" So he did, but he still had constraints, obviously, dealing with Hollywood. So
yeah, Zemeckis was meant to. Yeah, it was meant to be a spin-off from Tales from the Crypt.
yes,
it was during Heavenly Creatures that
yeah,
Jackson
yeah,
and oh god, Jackson and
Fran,
Walsh, yeah.
yeah. So they do really, really good together, those two. They do. But I think with the interference from Hollywood, which is probably like the 10th time I've said it now, they ruined it.
Yeah, there's you can just see this all over studio interference.
I mean, the fact that they wanted Weta Workshops to create a Midwestern American township in the middle of New Zealand, I mean, what that did to them was it pushed them into stressful territory. You know what I mean? So they just said, "Yep, film it in Wellington and Littleton, but you have to make it look like a Western lemon American
suburb or something." Yeah,
it didn't really seem like an American township at all. It was all New Zealand. I don't know. I don't know if
nothing seemed like anything. There was nothing to hold on to. Compare this to Poltergeist.
Yeah, yeah.
You have your ground in there. You know where you are. You have the family, that even the comedic bits in that land because it's genuine. You know, it fits in with the script.
Yep.
This doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah. Too many angles, too many threads, too much plot.
Yeah, there's loads of plot. Like, we'll get the introduction. That was the next thing to bring on. Milton Dammers, the FBI agent.
Oh.
What was the point of that character?
Do you know who I thought it was? Jim Carrey.
Same here.
I thought it was Jim Carrey. Yeah.
But it's not. It's a guy who plays Herbert West in The Reanimator.
Yeah, he's done some other horrors, The Army of the Dead or whatever.
Yeah, but that's what I remember. You know, I mean, he's the guy that played Herbert West in The Reanimator. He's a very dry actor, but this is not him either.
No.
If a Herbert West character had to come on, it would suit him. But this was something. If they had got Jim Carrey, it would have made sense to play the character, but the character makes no sense in the story.
The character makes no sense. I've been trying to rack my brain thinking, why the hell did they do that? And because I think this is the first movie I've seen an FBI agent portrayed in such a really bad light. Okay, they had to have the FBI involved, obviously, because they had the sheriff involved, and the murders were crossing state lines, so they had to bring in the FBI agent. Why did they have to make them so? Well, I think it's just because possibly they're dealing with a serial killer, so they brought in an FBI agent, because that's what Americans do, right? You've got a sheriff, you've got the local police, and then you've got the FBI, and then you've got the CIA. I don't know. They wanted to mix it all in a big melting pot, and then they come up with this character who looks like Jim Carrey, acts like Jim Carrey, and it's not Jim Carrey, but he's an absolute doofus.
And he has no purpose.
How did he get into the FBI if he's scared of women? It just made no sense.
I think they're trying to go along the angle of these specialists that, you know, is this the start of this weird autistic comedy that Americans are obsessed with?
I think so. Seriously.
Americans are obsessed with autistic people for some reason. And
I don't know why. Autistic.
It just means you're socially awkward. It just means you don't pick up on social cues, but Americans have made them into poor folks into freaking
and it's Asperger's. It's not even real, you know. These people have these symptoms and have these diseases, but it doesn't mean that they're a completely dysfunctional person like Dammers was. You know, his character was absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so off, and it didn't even suit the film.
It was like a spanner. It was like a machine sort of chuttering along here. It's like his steam engine for his camera steam engine.
Yes, right.
It's like Jackson's got this thing built up, and then Milton's character is just this huge lug wrench. He's just been winged at it, and it's just went in and just went boom, 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 boom.
100%. He was a dick, and there's no likable characters in this movie except for Cyrus and Stuart and the judge. But, you know, Dammers was just a moron. I mean, I can't get why they would have him in there. What's going on?
And he doesn't have a plot. There's no purpose to the plot having him in. There's no, like, the things he does to mess things up. What did he do? He dropped the urn. He spilled the urn. The urn could have got dropped
By somebody else.
He didn't have to put Lucy in the car to take her. You know what I mean? She could have been in the sheriff's car for rifting out the sheriff. You know, and sheriff were going to take her home to calm down. And this is the bloat. This is the we need to put this in. You know.
Yeah.
And you can just see. I think this has opened my eyes more than any other movie about the bloat of Hollywood and how they throw stuff in and the executives get involved and the costs go up and everything gets messed up for absolutely no reason apart from a few morons that just don't have no purpose being involved in the creative process.
Yeah.
Because they're meant to watch dailies. You know, at the end of each day's shooting, there's a thing called the dailies, and that's what the exec, you know, the one who's funded it, the overseer checks. That's it. But these are people that are just trying to make a movie by committee. Because we've seen, because this is the 6th movie now, and so we've got 5 examples of movies being made of different styles as well. It's not just Jackson is not a one-trick pony.
No.
We have seen movies of different styles, different budgets, different characters, on a fraction of the budget, done better.
Yep.
This should have been golden. This should have been Lord of the Rings before Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah. Or this should have been The Ring or The Grudge, you know, something higher.
This could have been a major stamp in House, you know what I mean? It could have been this, you know, as iconic as that.
Yep.
This could have been the next thing in horror. In fact, if it had been, I think Jackson would have went a whole different route. Would have had I think horror would have changed.
Yes, that's a good.
I actually think horror would have changed as a genre, because if this had just been allowed to be Jackson and didn't interfere and bring all this extra stuff in that just put in all directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, restaurant scene. An entire character that makes no sense. So there's all the scenes with him in it. There's all the plot devices with him in it that could have just not been there. There's a slimmed down movie. They had Arlie Ermy. There's a character. There's already the beginning of a bomb of character. Even him and Ray could have been a buddy movie.
Yes.
Without lose the love interest, be sympathetic towards Lucy, but this could have been a cop buddy movie.
Yeah, right.
Because there was the building off it.
Yep.
I'll say it again. I have to do this. Do you want to jump? Have you ever seen Heart Condition?
No.
Bob Hoskins and Denzel Washington.
No, I don't think I have.
We've got to do that one. Get a couple of folks, because that's a fantastic movie, and it's the only one that seriously talks about racism and actually does it brilliantly.
Wow.
and the redemption arc, because Bob Hoskins' character, he's a racist cop. Denzel Washington's character is a FE lawyer, if that makes sense. He defends the wrong clients.
Right.
Bob Hoskins' character has a massive heart attack, just as Denzel Washington's character dies, and Bob Hoskins gets Denzel's heart, his character's heart, and a transplant because he's the only compatible donor. You know why they talk about Get Out being like a super racist movie about racism? It's like, no, this one is, because when he finds out he has a black man's heart inside him, he freaks out. And, you know, the proper reactions of a racist. And then
Right.
Denzel's character haunts him.
Oh my goodness. It sounds so cool.
It's brilliant. It's like 48 hours, but with ghosts. And actually tackles someone's preconceived ideas, and then seeing humanity, and then them come together because they have to.
Wow. That's mind blowing.
Proper character arcs. You know what I mean? You've got two fantastic actors.
Yeah.
And it's not in the. It's just an example of humanity. But there's a ghost human. Sorry, get back on point. There's a ghost human buddy cop movie, which this could have been if it let it actually happen.
Yep. Exactly. Right.
And
I think if he had to put a moustache on Dammers, he would have looked like Hitler, huh?
That's what they were going for.
That's what they were going for, right?
But, I mean, he was basically dressed like a flipping Gestapo agent.
Officer.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But Jack's already done that.
I reckon it was deliberate.
But Jack's already did it. And did it better in Brain Dead.
Exactly.
With the doctor, with the tranquilizer.
Exactly, right? Oh my gosh. Exactly.
So this was a pale imitation of a character that Jackson already created and did better, and had less screen time and served the plot.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear.
I still laugh at that. Like I'm even thinking about that movie, and I'm still giggling at that scene in the vets.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And there was an over-the-top character.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still laughing at it because it's brilliantly done.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
This guy is terrible.
He is terrible. It was a waste of time, waste of money.
Yeah. So there's another just bloke studio getting involved.
Yeah, I wonder if he got a big black mark next to his name after doing that movie.
Who, Jackson or
No, the Dammers. What's his name? I can't remember.
He's the
Josh or something.
Yeah, he's the actor that played, like I said,
Army of the Dead. Yeah. People get him mixed up with the one that does Evil Dead. Oh, right. I'm terrible with people's names.
Oh, welcome to my world. Jeffrey Combs.
That's it, Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done a few good movies.
Oh, but this is Would You Rather?
The black mark on his one.
Beach versus Sundance. Oh, he's been in a lot of voiceover stuff.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Yeah, tons of voiceover. Sorry, I'm scrolling back to find this to see. Oh, he was in the episode of Star Trek. He went to
Star Trek. That's right.
He's on TV. 2002. God's sake. Beyond Reanimator. That's not the one I remember. I remember the first sequel. But I need to look at them. I'm going to look at Lovecraft stuff at some point. Do a whole series on that. I still Know What You Did Last Summer. Ziggy's done.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Okay, right. So, it didn't affect his career whatsoever. No, he didn't, because he just. Thank goodness. Nah, he's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling back. Oh, right. There we go. The Frighteners. No effect on him whatsoever.
Good. That's good to know, because that would have been a real shame.
Yeah, because that was not a character he was suited for either.
No.
I just didn't need to. Yeah, the shootout of the museum.
Oh,
That's, because how did this all? Yeah, it was after the dinner. He goes to the bathroom because Ray spilled wine on him. He meets this other bloke who will see the number. That I get why they did it, but it made no sense.
I get why they did it too, but it did not make sense. I
Didn't work.
lost count. It wasn't, the counting didn't add up, because 1 minute Dharma's is saying there was 29, and then the number on Singy's forehead said 40. So I'm like,
Or the
how did that
museum
work
curator.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, well, why did you bother putting numbers on there? Because you didn't even match them up with the storyline. It was like,
Yeah.
okay.
It was almost as if they're saying there's more and more people coming in with these strange heart attacks, but
Yes.
that couldn't be attributed to one person then.
No, but they tried to attribute it. Yeah. They attributed it to him.
Back to what you said, the pacing of this movie, you have no sense of time.
No.
This all feels like it's happening within like 2 days.
Right, exactly right. And it's not. It feels like well, we know it's not. It's over a month, and it just feels like it's just been done straight away.
It felt like a month watching this.
Yeah.
It felt like we're spending a month watching this bloody movie for it to get somewhere. Yeah, so once again, time, pacing.
Yeah.
You have no sense of where you are and how this is escalating. Like, if you had seen maybe the hospitals and it was over a couple of days and the morgue was starting to fill up.
Yeah.
And Bannister was bumping into people left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And him going, what? This is getting full. And then that would have led to him and Hines reaching an agreement of him, this is not good, man.
Yeah.
We got to work together.
Yeah. And the Grim Reaper didn't make sense either, I have to say.
That was just to hide. And we already had it. Because we already told at the start who it was.
Exactly.
So,
it made
we knew it was Johnny Bartlett, because in these sort of movies that you're trying to find out who the killer is, you're told who it is. It's always a character you've met, so they've already given the whole spiel about Johnny Bartlett and his killing spree and the 12 people and his girlfriend who's only 15 at the time. You were given all that at the start.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there was no need for a reveal. We knew who it was.
No, there wasn't. Well, what? I just don't know. I was lost. I was lost when it was revealed that he was the Grim Reaper, because then it's like, well, if that's the case, and he was going and hanging out with Patricia every night, the beginning scene didn't make sense, because why is she scared of him? You know what I mean?
And he's trying to strangle her, and his mother's protecting her.
But yet they're together. It's like, well, who plotted this out? It's just
Jackson didn't. Peter Jackson didn't. That's who we know didn't plot this out.
No, he didn't. He can't have. He can't have, because a 5-year-old could have plotted this out better.
There's no way he.
Like the first shitty draft of one of my stories. When you write a plot and you don't finish it off, or
I have loads of those, and that's why they don't go any further. Because I look and I go, no, I'm not inflicting that in the world. That's when you have an idea and you think it's going well, and then you start and it doesn't. It just doesn't land. And if I'm bored myself reading it, I'm not gonna put it out.
Exactly. Right. So the Grim Reaper, although I have to say they made him look really good.
All style, no substance.
I was confused. I was totally confused by that. It made no sense. It's like, it just. And then he was able to kill ghosts. It was like.
But he didn't. And there's another thing as well. There was no. Because the end scene, so there's no consequence.
Oh, yes.
There's no consequence to being killed as a ghost. So the whole point of being a ghost is you don't cross over to the other side.
Yes.
Something's holding you to the earth.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't be the real Grim Reaper. He was disguising himself as the Grim Reaper. Then he wasn't really the Grim Reaper, so the Grim Reaper can't kill ghosts. So,
and I don't want to, jump into the end scene. Killing the ghosts made no difference.
It didn't do any. It didn't add anything. It didn't add anything. I just don't know. Something major went wrong. Oh dear.
This could have been a buddy cop. Like I said, him and Ray getting killed and not being happy about it.
Yep.
And then Bannister trying to solve his murder.
Yep, that's right. Could have gone off onto.
And instead of him being stitched up for it, him actually being brought in as an investigator. So there's no need for Milton's character. Out the window.
Gone. Yeah.
Because this is happening. The police are overwhelmed. Well, guess what? He's a con man, but
he can see ghosts. So why don't we get him in?
And then the sheriff believes in him because the sheriff knew. Yeah. Everyone knew him before this happened, and they know why he's the burnt out man he is. And it's a small town, so it's not like he's.
Yeah. Everybody knows who he is. Yeah.
There's another character. What do you call her? The flipping museum.
Reese Jones, the reporter?
Yeah.
No,
not the reporter. The curator. Number 39.
Right. Did she die?
Yeah, sure. They reenact the car scene.
You mean Reese Jones? So she was a reporter, wasn't she?
Was she not the museum curator, or was she just happened to be there?
No, she's the reporter who is. She's the one who was writing the newspaper reports about him being a fraud and a con man.
No, I'm thinking of Magda. Elizabeth Hawthorne.
Oh.
Magda's the one that read the newspaper.
Right.
Who owns the museum.
Right. Okay.
And they had this weird antagonistic relationship which made no sense.
Yeah.
So, been all that stuff.
Then she died.
Yeah, in the car. Remember, they reenacted her.
The same car crash type situation. Yeah.
Made no sense.
No, it didn't.
So didn't. And having, God, having what's his face? God, there's too many characters in this. There's a problem. There's too many characters.
There is.
Johnny Bartlett. Is. Having the reveal that it was Johnny Bartlett and Patricia killed his wife, even though he'd already crashed, that took away from the whole guilt of him causing the accident.
Yeah, it did, right? It did.
Plus, why would they kill her, not him?
And then it ended up affecting the ending, right? Yeah. Yeah. It did. Yeah. So she was number 13, obviously. So
and they made a big thing about that.
I mean, if there were all those people dying in one city,
that's where I'm thinking. If the sheriff's office had to call them in because they were desperate, and if I had seen the bodies going into the morgue and then the ghosts coming out and Bannister encountering them all the time, and then him helping the police, there's straight away. There's a load of crap cut out of this movie, and it goes in a linear direction.
Yeah. And then even Cyrus and Stuart and the judge could have played a part in that, instead of them just being sidekicks who are actually going around haunting places and getting him jobs.
They could have actually been kicking genuine ghosts out of the house.
Yes, exactly.
Right, come on, guys. And right, see his whole blasé thing about the squirt gun with the holy water and that, right?
Oh,
What it could have been was quite simply, he said, "Look, you're dead." What? No, I'm not. Yes, you're dead, mate. Come on, got to get you back.
Yep. Yep. And all these scenes when people die and they're all going up to heaven, that was just so out, just so off. It was just, God.
And actually, them not going to heaven and being held on the earth because it was, what do we call him? Fucking Johnny killing them.
Yep.
Then clogging up the cemetery. There you go. There's Hines' character getting brought in again because his cemetery is getting overwhelmed and he can't administer them all.
Exactly.
It's all there. It's all there. Linear plot.
It's all there. And I mean, even in that scene, all the ghosts were there coming out of the, walking around the gravesite. I mean,
get back in your,
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for the next 100 year, your next arc for your chance to cross over. But he's getting overwhelmed because all these bodies are coming in, and then it's complete chaos in the graveyard.
Complete chaos. Yep.
Discipline's broken down.
Yep.
It's all lined up.
Yep.
But they brought all this extra shite. And the studio brought all this extra shite and a stupid love interest character which serves no purpose.
Yep. No.
She still does better, actually, than a girl boss anyway, because what they've replaced the love interest with the girl boss is worse.
Yeah.
And both are disingenuous, the women, as characters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
But sorry, that's right. I don't agree with the narrative, so I'm an alt-right estaphobe. Because I don't say the right things. That's so the Holy Church of Woke tells me. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
This is actually painful. I didn't think we were going to last an hour talking about this movie, but bloody hell, it's opened up something here.
Yeah, a whole can of worms. We're all worried about Peter Jackson now.
Yeah, actually, this could have been for someone as intelligent and creative. This could have broken him. It would have broken me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have. I'd have just been disgusted and walked off and went never again.
I wonder if
no amount of money in the world's worth it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll have a whole third act.
Yep.
That was like another movie in itself.
Yep, it was. Completely changed the mood. Kind of went off.
There's another angle. Deborah's killing them in real life with his help. He then kills their ghost in death because he's trying to come back to life, say. So therefore he's preventing the souls move on.
Right. Yep.
There's still that many, there's that many influx, so we can still stay with that same storyline. But here's the crux. He gets to kill so many, he gets to come back to life, but as a powerful being.
Yep.
All these souls are getting, not getting the crossover. That's what they have to stop.
Yep. But no, it didn't happen like that. No, not at all.
Because actually, the way they did it, right, this whole third act is to get the reveal it's Johnny Bartlett, which it was all laid up from the start. So we had all this fluff in the middle to get there, and it's like, yeah, when nobody was surprised.
Yeah, it's they make it ambiguous when it's actually not, because we already know.
Because it couldn't be anybody else. You can't introduce when it's a murder mystery. You can't introduce another character. It has to be one of the. That's the rules, or else,
that is the rules. That's right.
If you're following the points of a murder mystery, you have to have met the character. You have to have met the killer.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole point is you pick up the threads to figure out which one, the whodunit. You know what I mean? That's
the whodunit. Yep. Typical Sherlock Holmes,
Yeah, Poirot, or you name. You know what I mean? Everyone on the Sun follows the same formula because that's the formula that works.
Yeah, yeah. So they're trying to blame Frank for all of these, even though he wasn't there at most of the times. And how does one person
Leaving
make
absolutely no
40?
evidence.
Yeah, make 40 people have heart attacks. It's like, well, there's obviously it's a small town, so everybody's going to know something's going on that's not right. A human can't be doing this, It's like, well, I don't know, just ridiculous.
Yeah, God.
It just didn't make sense. It sucked. That bit sucked. But the third part of the movie was different. It did give some revelations away, but at the end of the day, we already knew what most of it was. So
there was
on
nothing,
that stage, there's
surprising.
no surprises. No.
There was no sense of urgency.
And no resolutions.
No,
No
because
sense of urgency. No.
yeah, they were trying to put his ghost to rest, but at the same time, I don't know.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
And then Milton getting involved in it made, once again, what the hell?
I feel your frustration.
I don't know. It's just this has been the most difficult one.
It is.
I genuinely thought Forgotten Silver was going to be the tricky one that we're going to review. I thought that was going to be like the horrible bad one, and it didn't actually surprise me. Pleasantly surprised me watching that.
Yep.
This one, like when I first watched it, when I was a kid, it just flew over my head. But I knew I didn't like it. I knew it wasn't, wasn't one I was ever felt the need to revisit again.
No.
It was just stuff happened on screen. Now that I've actually looked at it as part of this series and what we've discussed and learned, I'm actually disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm revulsed.
Highly disappointed. Yep.
But I don't believe I can't blame Jackson for this.
Nope. There's no way. There's no way we can blame him for this. Absolutely not. If he had been given full reins, it would have been a box office hit.
And cheaper.
And it would have propelled off different angles, lots of different things. Fell short.
Yeah. So yada yada yada. What was it? Yeah, Bannister said he had to, have a near-death experience or become a ghost himself, and then he was going to just blow his brains out because pointless dramatic act. And then this is only about Lucy actually became useful as a character because she was a doctor, which really she gave no indication. She was just a side character, you know what I mean? Served no purpose. Blah, blah, slow his heart rate down, give him drugs, stick him in the freezer, whatever. Nice and dramatic. But when he actually goes to heaven and he gets to meet Deborah after all this time and all this guilt, did like two words to say to each other?
Nothing happened. No, oh my God, I'm so sorry for crashing the car and killing you, and I miss you, and I love you forever, and no.
He doesn't even walk over to her.
He doesn't even touch her. Well, you'd think the first thing you do is give your loved one a hug,
He hugged Saracen Stewart.
I know. But what? All of a sudden, is he over her? It didn't seem like during the movie he wasn't over.
I've got a new squeeze and go down here. Do you mind? Yeah, you crack on. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all the depth and emotion. Now, we've had him moping about for an hour and 30 minutes at this point. And broken man, unfinished house. He's turned the basketball court into a garden as a, everything else is a mess with this lovely tended garden as an homage to her. He's never forgiven himself. He's given up his career, blah, 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 blah. He gets one of them moments, which is supposed to be like once in a lifetime moment to say, sorry, actually talk to the one you love and deal with your regrets and get forgiveness.
Yeah.
Hi there. Hiya. Do you mind? I'm tapping this now.
Yeah, it's right. It was like seeing an ex-girlfriend and, oh, hi, awkward moment. Yeah, it just fell totally flat off.
There was more emotion between him, Cyrus, and Stuart, which I get as a buddy comedy. And once again, back to my point, killing a ghost makes no difference. It actually accelerates the process. So if Bartlett had run around with a scythe in the cemetery, nobody would be in the cemetery, they'd all be up or down, not stuck in limbo. There's no consequences, no repercussions, no urgency.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And the Americans rated this 18.
Eh?
And the Americans rated this 18 for adults only. Oh my god.
Right, man.
Oh. This is too in depth and scary. But the couplet.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh my god, there was like no emotion at all in the movie. And you'd think the one opportunity that they could have implanted some emotion would have been when him and Deborah meet, in heaven. It's like,
I am home.
Just
you need
ridiculous.
to go home. I am home. Like, I am home. I will give the most robotic line ever.
I know. And she's such a famous New Zealand actress too.
But just look, he showed more emotion with Cyrus and Stuart.
I know.
Were they not in the same room together?
It's just
did she dial his performance in? Was she in like in a different sound stage and they didn't actually meet each other? Was this a green screen thing?
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if that's actually what happened because you only really see her in.
She's like a cutaway. She's like a cutaway scene. Was there no budget left so those two could walk across the clouds 2 meters?
Exactly, right. Oh my god.
How did he go from being like, hey guys, and all happy to I am home?
I know. I mean, is this take on the bros before hoes thing? That's what I thought was, oh, your buddies are more important than your ex-lover that you killed in a car crash. But then we find out she wasn't killed in a car crash because Johnny did it.
But Johnny didn't do him as well when it was all about getting the numbers. So there was 2 and he only did 1.
Oh,
and he spent years as a broken man. But yeah, it's all right now because Lucy's coming along.
Just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Just stupid. Yeah. It's not what you expect. No, that was disappointing, that scene. I mean,
that scene killed me. I died a little inside. I'm not like a lovey-dovey emotional person, but I wanted a bit of emotional payoff that's been building up to this moment.
Yep. So there was no resolution for us. As a viewer, we didn't get a sense of any resolution between Deborah and Frank meeting again. It was just merely nothing.
Like may as well have been passing in the street, like a busy street with loads of cars, and just went.
Yep, exactly. So sad.
The dog was happier with the judge's jaw.
Yeah.
There was more emotion in that, with the dog wagging his tail with Judge's jawbone in his mouth.
Oh God, exactly.
Judge showed more emotion when he was in the sarcophagus.
Yes.
When he said, that was a Jackson line. He put that in. That had to be a Jackson line.
Oh.
I love it when the lie still like that. It's like,
okay,
that. Yep. He slipped that in there. He snuck that in.
He still had to contain himself though in the gore. When it came to the Egyptian scene, you could see that he had to pull himself in because there's so many. God, how the hell did he end up in the coffin? It was just like, oh my God, I'm just so confused. But I loved it when the judge came through and, you know, he was shooting everybody and it was like, no more shooting blanks. That was supposed to be funny. It wasn't. No, not
But
at all.
there was a thing that could hurt the ghosts, so there's a chance to get a battle plan, but yeah, whatever. Just
exactly.
And then, as if we hadn't been cheapened enough, we get the end of the movie.
Oh, fuck.
Where the house is getting demolished, they're sitting on a picnic table or a picnic blanket.
Who would do that? Who would sit there having a picnic while your investment is being knocked down? No one. It's not relatable. It's not even relatable.
But even that, you wouldn't hang up. There's nothing there. That's not even a nice place to have a picnic.
It's not. It's a terrible place to have a picnic. And why would you sit there and seriously watch all your money go down the tube like that? You know?
I don't know. And then she pretends, you know, that stupid scene, the ending scene where she puts a blanket over her head. You're like, so you've just cheapened everything.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because you notice Milton sitting in the back seat. And she's a revelation is she can see them too. And then the way she does it, just so hammy and bad. And
oh, no. And if that was supposed to be a cliffhanger with what's his face in the back, it didn't work. You know.
Once again, his character served no purpose.
No. He would have been better off as a ghost.
Do you know, actually, now to think about it, if the whole town started to seeing the dead.
Wow.
I'm freaking the hell out.
That would make sense.
And then,
that would have been awesome. Oh my God, that would have just been amazing.
And then Bannister being the hero. Because Bannister didn't get a chance to be a hero unless he was like a... No, but
a shallow character. Yeah. No development in his character at all. No.
And that's why I said him and Hines, the interaction, because Hines got cut through in like half a second. In fact, Bannister did more with the machine guns than he did, the trained Marine, you know. And just, I don't know, man. This was hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard review.
It was, right. I wanted to enjoy it, but I just couldn't.
Even on a superficial level, if I had, you know, just the popcorn flick, I would have liked to have enjoyed this movie. It's just a generic. Okay, well, he's made a generic one. This is how he got. Because the next one's obviously the Fellowship of the Ring. We're going to do. Okay, this was his stepping into mainstream, showing that he can work in a big studio.
Yes, and he can work within their parameters, right, without expressing his own creative abilities. They've dulled him down or numbed him down to the point where he's not Peter Jackson anymore in this franchise.
They could have had anybody direct this, because this was just so, you know, I mean, there was no, you know, there's a reason you get a director, because you want their take, you want their style.
Yes.
There's a reason you have certain actors for certain roles.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you use certain special effects companies. There's a reason why these marriages are made.
Yep.
Because they work together. Why else do you think, like, so Tim Burton has his particular actors he uses?
Yes.
Etc. You know.
Yeah.
Ridley
Same
Scott.
with, like, say, Quentin Tarantino. We know what we're getting with Quentin Tarantino.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He is the most.
We know what we're getting with. Oh, he's just amazing.
He is the most dumbed down, ridiculed director of all time, and he's a bloody genius.
He's a freaking genius, all right.
And he's somebody I see has been done dirty, which there's absolutely no reason.
No. But people still love him.
You could have got right. This would be like this could have been directed by Quentin Tarantino under the same constraints, and it wouldn't have been Tarantino. This was a fast food chain movie.
Yeah.
Was it because Jackson's relatively new that they could pressure him?
I think so.
However, I think this movie was useful.
How?
Well, we're going to see in the next one we do.
Right.
Because he did not. He went in with, I am not doing this unless blah, 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 blah. And I will not do it unless blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah.
Yep, you're damn right. This showed him what it's like to work with Hollywood and to have signed a contract saying, okay, I will keep to your parameters. I won't use my creative flair. And there you go. He gets Lord of the Rings. And then he's like, nah, I'm doing what I want to do because he can do it, you know. And even then, those movies are a bit of a difference as we see in Sir Peter Jackson's other ones, but you can still see him in it.
Oh, absolutely.
But this one was this would have been an eye-opener for him.
I think this is a learning experience.
Yeah.
I think this is
him. It got him into Hollywood.
Yeah.
It got him into Hollywood, which is what his dream probably was. And then when the dream fell short, then he was able to come up with his own plan. I'm not going to do another one unless I get full creative, play.
Yep, these are this is what I need, or you don't get.
Yeah. And at the time of Lord of the Rings, of course, everybody was making movies over here because we were the cheapest country to make movies in.
It's cyclical. So, you find that, and then inflation happens, then they move somewhere else, and then it comes back around again.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. But
because the UK has become the spot again. We've come back around.
Have you?
Yeah. So there are a lot of current movies are being filmed here because we have become the cheapest spot for the time being. Because they were filming Eastern Europe, and then obviously the prices went up now, so they've pulled out of there. They've come here, so they'll be back around your house before you know it.
Yeah.
it's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
People start it becomes a good thing. People start sticking their arm in, so the costs go up, and then it becomes unattainable. So
that's what happens. Yep. Yeah.
Because people are brilliant.
Okay.
It's a one greedy bastard just starts the whole cycle. It's like the pebble at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Someone's like, I'm gonna stick my arm up wee bit more, and then everything just goes.
Yep, that's right.
But we're always going to people are always going to be like that. It's never going to change. We're a different face, we have a different banner, but it's human nature.
Yep, absolutely.
But there you go. That was that. But this is definitely the most difficult review. I found this one, and this isn't even like there's movies I've straight out hated, and I've been able to review.
Yeah.
This comes with a sense of frustration when you know the creator, or the person at the helm, and what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this didn't need to happen.
I think in reality, if I hadn't have seen the previous 5 other movies, this one I just would have gone, oh my God, but Peter Jackson sucks.
Yeah, and you'd just be like,
yeah.
Never watch anything by him again. No,
exactly. But we know that he had nothing to do with this, and I'm sure there'll be a video there somewhere that says, oh, I had to do this and that.
Yeah, I wanted to, that's what I said, I wanted to come in here with reaction to the movie. That's what I like to do. So I didn't want to fill myself up with, because that's with the Clive Barker stuff, that's the mistake I made as I started looking into because I love the special effects, and that's what tainted me, because then all his things have been excuses, even at the release, of why they're bad, and it's always fingers pointing everywhere, not at him. No self-reflection whatsoever, and I don't like people like that.
No. Yeah.
And I don't want to get clouded with this, if that makes sense.
That's right, because you get a preconception right before you watch the movie if you've watched all.
And then you don't react honestly.
Yeah.
Also, like, it was actually Cameron said, you really want to have to do Frighteners. Sorry about that, mate. As in, it's a stinking movie. Yeah, it is, but I think I'm seeing it stinking and you're seeing it stinking for a lot of different reasons, because we're on this journey, and it's such a shame.
It is a shame.
Last question. Would this benefit from a remake, or should it just be buried?
A remake with Sir Peter Jackson producing, directing, and writing it? No.
Or is it better just, you've got that?
Just to leave it actually, because when I think about it, he's not ever going to be able to go back to what he did with Brain Dead and Bad Taste. He can't go back to that because that's what he was as a budding filmmaker, you know. So I don't think I think he should just leave it.
Yeah,
I don't think.
That's the thing is because I have a major problem. Just a wee tangent here. Like my first book didn't land very well, and even me reading it is like, I know there's something wrong with it. I know sort of roughly where it went wrong, and it's something that's it's actually affecting me creating new stuff because that's in the back of my mind, and I'm tempted to go back and redo it, but I'm like, that's not the right direction, is it? You got to be, you know what I mean? You just leave that behind.
You've got to be really careful because
then you start the cycle. You're always go backwards and redoing. You're going to end up like George Lucas, aren't you? Always poking and poking.
Yeah. Unless it's such a good story that you really want to put.
It was my first one. It was like
trash it. Trash it. Don't actually literally trash it. Keep it there, but don't work on it anymore. Yeah. Start something fresh and start with short stories.
I've like loads of stuff here, but this is in the back of my mind, and I'm just thinking of Frighteners is just making me think a lot. Is that, you know, the whole remake thing? Is that the way forward, or is that a bad idea? Are remakes as a whole a bad idea, or is there merit?
I am against remakes. I really am. I'm against them. I've seen remakes and I have not seen a good one yet. I have to say, I can't. With your problem though, I think you should put it aside and start on something fresh and just leave it there as a little reminder of, you know, but don't let it taint your creative abilities to keep writing.
But I just see it, you know, I could see this. I think that's my Frighteners, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay.
And it's annoying, you know, because you don't want to put out bad stuff, and if you know you're not happy with something, and it's got mixed reviews as well. Some people love it, others hate it. People are mid, you know, that sort of thing. So it's not like it's completely panned or everyone's thinking, you know, and it's that sort of, it's got that range of things, which is cool. But when you know yourself,
you do.
It's not right. And then I can see it with this movie. That's another thing that's just brought in, and then it affects you moving forward because it's there in the back of your head going, oh, I put this out and it's not, I shouldn't have done, I should have tied it up or done something, you know, and but it's too late now, it's done.
The other thing you could do is split it apart and chuck it against the wall and turn it all upside down. That's another way to do it. If there's an old novel that's hovering around in your computer from 5 years ago, people tend to like pull it apart, rip it apart, and then throw it against the wall and just take it from there.
Yeah, because that's my plan over the next couple of weeks, Heather, because I've got a bit of time to actually try and get some of the stuff nailed down because I've stuff all over the place. But the more I'm doing this and the more I'm looking at stories and pulling them apart, I'm then more super critical of myself.
Really?
Because then I think it's like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. There's no point me, you know, do you know what I mean? Oh, this is terrible, that's terrible. And then I throw out absolute crap just for the sake of it. And it's like, no, because then I'm...
Oh, it must be hard for you to be able to... I think you're in a place where you're writing and reviewing at the same time. Do you think you're doing that? Where you're writing your stuff and you're reviewing it at the same time? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you took that hat off and put your writing hat on, you could probably make a lot of good work with yours.
Because I like to think I'm a fair reviewer.
You are.
I know what I'm looking. My primary focus is the story and the characterization. That's my primary focus when I look at these things. Everything else can kind of, because that's outside constraints. That's how much budget the studio gives you. That's who you can get at a time. That's outside your control. What's in your control is the story you write the script and the characters you create. That's 100% as a, director of a movie, as a writer of an author. That's all in your control, and that's what I look at when I do my reviews.
Yeah.
And I see it that if I'm going to review other people's work, bloody right, I'm going to be hard on my own. I'm not gonna forgive myself. If that makes sense, because that's the worst type of hubris ever.
Yeah, but that's a good gift you have.
Everyone else is crap, but I'm brilliant. If I thought I was that person, I'd throw myself out a window.
Yeah, but you're not that sort of person. But you could use that to your advantage, Colin. You could write the best story ever because you know what people want.
But then there's that expectation, you see.
Well, yeah, of course there's an expectation. And then you're like, you're a horror writer, right?
Every bit that goes wrong, then it doesn't land. You're like, and it's 10 times worse.
You're your own worst enemy.
I think we all are to a point. There's nobody else that'll fight you more than yourself.
No, you did right.
This has brought, because if this was just a throw on movie and I was reviewing it, it'd be forgotten about by now. But because we're doing this and we're doing this deep dive and we're looking into the man behind it, we're looking at the creative process, and we're looking at the journey. It's making me more retrospective than I would be normally.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. In fact, I'm very critical now when I watch a horror movie, which I haven't been doing lately because nothing's comparing to Peter Jackson's work. There's nothing. It's not comparing. It's just crappy Hollywood movies.
Jump back onto Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
He's the only. He's the similar sort of wackiness.
Yeah.
But control wackiness. Sam Raimi's the. If you're feeling lost, that stick on Evil Dead, stick on Drag Me to Hell again.
Yep.
That'll cheer you right up.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
But as always, Dale, thank you so much. These are fun in a lot of respects, not just looking at movies, but we'll get a wee bit of a chat and a flipping deep dive and a wee bit of philosophy thrown in as well, because that's what art does. That's the purpose of art, is to extract emotions, good and bad, and they're always useful. It's always useful to feel and think.
Yep, absolutely. Thought-provoking, definitely.
But next time we're doing it, we're going to the Fellowship of the Ring. We're starting the trilogy, the actual trilogy. And we're doing it on the Horror Channel. So well, Sauron's scary anyway, and Saruman's scary. So there you go. And the orcs are scary, so they're frightening things. There is actually a good element of horror in this. So we're not exactly jumping out of the well here.
No, because there are some good horror scenes in it. Well, well, supernatural stuff.
Yes, and we'll get that. But there's this will be good to do.
It is. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, so there you go. Next time, obviously, we'll schedule it up. We'll get it happening. It'll be Fellowship of the Ring. We're there, and then this is where we're going to modern Peter Jackson, and
which I've watched like 100 times.
I'm still tempted to go down and buy that bloody box set, even though I've got the Blu-rays now.
Go and buy it.
It's going to happen, but then I'll pick up the Evil Dead one. And then I'm going to be bloody skint this month, and then I'm flipping.
You can eat noodles for the next month.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Fun times, right? So everyone, if you see me losing a lot of weight over this next week or two, you'll know what's happened. Dale, brilliant as always. Everyone else that tuned in there, thank you. Thanks for joining the chat.
Thank you.
And as always, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.